All right, so let me go and kick this off.
Black man that genuinely desires a dark-skinned woman has been interesting, right? Because every Black man I've dated, their type was always exotic, meaning light skin, curly hair. Like, that's not exotic.
Green eyes.
Hello, she's just mixed, babe. She's just mixed. That's been my experience. But I'm someone who dates outside of my race. I date inside. I date all around. You know, if you fine, you fine. But my experience in dating like European men or white men or just mixed race men or men of different cultures just treat women differently. I've never had to worry about like maybe this man desires a lighter skinned woman when I'm dating outside of my race, or when I'm dating a Black man that genuinely desires a dark skinned woman or loves a dark skinned woman.
Okay, topic for tonight. Your skin is too dark. All right, so we got the young lady on there on the video. Let's say drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Anybody out, anybody viewing or watching us right now? So the young lady is saying that it is hard to find a Black man who genuinely wants to date or is attracted to a dark-skinned woman. She then goes on to say that she dates all different types of men or all different races of men. And when she dates essentially Caucasian men, they have no issue with the shade of her skin. So yeah, interesting video. This video came my way. I said, okay, I think this is worth a conversation. So here we are right now. So anybody in the comments, I'm gonna go to the panel first as always. What do y'all think about this video? What did y'all see? Is she making sense? Is she not? I don't know. I got two ladies on here. I need the fellas to be ready to represent. Yeah, Vince, I needed you, bro. But I want to see what y'all say, ladies. What y'all tell me what y'all think about that video. Just what come to mind?
I mean, first and foremost, I do think this is, I know there's a few gentlemen in the comments. I would love to hear you guys' take just in general, right? Because I'm going to say historically speaking, and obviously I can only speak in general terms because obviously I don't know every person alive. But I mean, I don't know. I can see why she might say that because first of all, I thought she's very pretty, but I can see why she might say that because I don't know, you guys, like it's the same thing with women. Like when we start to talk about our top 3 or our top 5, let's just say we're using celebrities as an example. In that top 3 or in that top 5, you might have one. You might have one dark-skinned guy in that group. But for the most part, they're brown or light. They just are. And I just think we have to be honest about that. Like that ends up being a preference. So maybe some of the reason why she feels like that is because we do have a colorism issue in our community. Like we are not going to sit up here on this platform and act like we do not have a colorism issue. Like we don't have a texturism issue in our community because it would be a lie. We literally built a whole entire look or category natural for this very thing. And then we built a whole natural hair movement. And then in that natural hair movement, we had texturism. Sorry, y'all. We had texturism inside that movement. So like if you couldn't get your color thing a thing, like we still out here, ooh and on and over, curly hair, pretty eyes, like that's still a thing. And until we change our minds and how we interact with people, and get rid of some of these biases that we don't realize we actually have, then I think we just gonna keep seeing this.
Okay, I hear that. Let me get this comment, then I'm gonna switch us up. Let's see. Rose Jones, she said that's because we as Black people hate ourselves. She said, you see it in the entertainment field. Let's see, I should have invested in a wig store. I would be loaded right now. We need to stop trying to look like them and be who we are.
So I got it. You go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I'll come right behind you. I got a response for this one. Go ahead.
No, respond, because I was gonna go back with Chloe.
Oh, okay, I got you. So Rose, so I agree with what you're saying, to an extent. And the reason I say to an extent is this last point that you made. We need to stop trying to look like them and be who we are. I think the problem with that statement is we got to take a step back, because my first question or response to that is, who are we? Yeah, I think that's a part of the problem. Yeah, we've been fed identities. Yep, some of us is African, some of us African American, some of us is Israelite people, some of us is Moors, some of us is this, some of us is that. So we've been fed all types of identities. So I think the first thing that we got to solve and come to a consensus on is, who are we? Yep, I think that's partially why we're so easily led. Yep, circling back to your point about this, invested in a wig store. Even that right there is not even guaranteed. Yep, and what I mean by that is our identities are so skewed at this point for a lot of folks, not everybody, but for a lot of folks, identities are so skewed at this point. Even if you did invest in that wig store, would we even support it? So I think before we can say we have to be who we are, we got to figure out what that is and who that is. Yep. Now, mind you, I think some people are taking that journey now. I hate that it's in their later age, but I think some people have taken that journey now to understand who they are and where they come from. But a lot of folks are not. So I think until that piece is squared away and nailed down, we're going to have an issue right here with understanding even who we are and what we should be doing. You want to say something, Nadia?
Yeah, I was just going back to kind of Chloe's point, because my thoughts about our presentation, whether you are fair skinned or dark skinned, right? We know that we have to work a little bit harder than any other race to be accepted and to be considered beautiful, right? So my thoughts are, why are we allowing ourselves, allowing our youth, allowing our younger Black men, who we know are definitely at the bottom and are seen as threats? Why are we allowing these people and teaching them that it's okay to walk around with hoodies on and with jeans sagging and, an undershirt? Because my first thought to me is, where do you work? Sorry, I'm thinking, if you're 25, you should be dressed like a respectable individual. Now, then you go to what's respectable, right? Respectable is obviously what most people identify with and what most people are going to consider non-threatening. If you saw this dude, it looks like, Idris Elba, and you saw somebody else that looked like 50 Cent, and you in an alley, who are you going to look at and go, I want to turn the corner? So it's all about presentation and how we present ourselves to other people as well. I know if I go into a job interview, I was scared a lot of times here, especially because you have a lot of beautiful, it's like Miami, a lot of beautiful Hispanic and Asian and white women. And I'm going in here with natural hair, and they're looking at me like, but the first thing that manager said on that interview was, I love your hair. And it was like, well, thank you. You know what I mean? And did I get the job? Yes, I did. But I've accepted who I am. I know that I need to work a little bit harder in presentation than anybody else, just because I am a Black woman. It's just the way it is. So I think that we need to start teaching our youth that social media is not the way. We need to focus on the basics and what it means to adult and to get farther, to get ahead in this world, because we can't just put this as a Black thing with the separation and the divide either, because Asians have it, Hispanics have it. None of them want to be darker. All of them consider darker skin less than. So it's not just a Black thing.
I gotta buck that point. I gotta buck that point that you just made. So you said that none of them want to be darker. So I gotta do this. I gotta do this just for that one point you made.
Stop the cap.
The reason I say that is because they stay in the tanning booth. So if they don't want to be darker, why are they always tanning?
They want to be an acceptable level of dark. They want the gold. They don't want dark skin to the point where it makes you look like, essentially, it makes you back to that of you were a field worker versus someone who was in the house.
They don't want to look black.
Correct. And that's the same.
Brown skin is still frowned upon.
Correct. And which is why I say we have to work harder. You have to work harder and be willing to put into the work to be and to elevate yourselves and be accepted. Can it happen? Absolutely. But you have to be willing to put in the work and not just jump back and holler, it's the system. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with the put in the work part, but there's nothing that we can do to change the color of our skin. Just like there's nothing that we can do to change the texture.